Welcome to lesson 2.3. We're going to be factoring quadratic expressions. So I think you might have done a little bit of this in Algebra 1 when you were in Algebra 1, but we'll go through it. So x squared plus 7x plus 12. What you're trying to do here is come up with a pair of numbers that multiplies to the 12 and adds to that 7. So that pair of numbers is 3 and 4. All right, let's see what they say about a solution. But can't be more complicated than that. So yeah, basically that's what they're saying. Those two numbers m and n, which is the 3 and 4 that we found, they need to add to the 7 and multiply to the 12. So there you have it. Let's look at the second part here. A little more complicated given the presence of that 2. So it's not as simple as just what multiplies that -3 and what adds that -5. Let's look at their solution first, because ultimately I'm going to show you a way that I think you're going to prefer to do it. But anyway, what they're suggesting, and when I was in school, I was taught this method. I was told that it was called the British method. Why? I imagine because someone in Great Britain made it up. I don't know. But the idea here is that you split up that middle term into a way that you can then factor by grouping. So they split up -5x into x minus 6x, and then they're doing factoring by grouping. The idea is that what you get in both of those, like when you split it in half and take a GCF out, you take an x out of those two, you get 2x plus 1. You take a -3 out of those two, you get 2x plus 1. And then you can factor 2x plus 1 out, and you get 2x plus 1 times x minus 3. You can certainly use that method. The way that I think is the best, well, ultimately, just taking that and doing guess and check, like putting down parentheses and saying, all right, well, if that's 2x squared, it's got to be 2x and x, right? And if you're multiplying to -3, then it's some combination of multiplying to -3 with those two numbers. So I'm going to put -3 here. I'm going to put +1 here. See if it works. See if you can get back to that middle term. So guess and check is a way that you can do it as well. Mudd's method is another way. And I think Mudd's method is the best way that's not guess and check. Better than what's in the book here. But I mean, you can certainly do that if you like that. It could be a personal preference thing. But Mudd's method would say then take 2, multiply by the -3. And you get x squared minus 5x minus 6. Now you factor this the way that we factored the first part of the example, part A, which is what multiplies to -6 and adds to -5. So that would be x minus 6 and x plus 1. And that 2 that you multiplied away, you're going to put it back on as the coefficient of both. And then you divide it where you can. In this case, or you divide a GCF out where you can, because it could be in both, but in this case, it's just going to be in this one. And you end up with x minus 3 times 2x plus 1. All right, so same answer all around. So this gave you 3 different ways to approach this one. You do what you prefer. Now, a couple you try it questions. Pause now, try them, and then come back and check your answers. X squared minus 9. We'll factor into x plus 3 times x minus 3. 3x squared minus 7x plus 2 will factor into 3x minus 1 times x minus 2. Right, let me know if you have any questions, and we will now look at example 2.